Hey everyone, Kristen Lajeunesse here, and you are watching the We'll Travel for Vegan Food marketing series.
We'll travel for vegan food.
Today marks the last video related to marketing content of this month-long marketing series. Tomorrow I have a special video treat for you, so you're not going to want to miss that one. In the meantime, I have a really great question today from Chris. Chris writes, "My problem is that even though I'm an expert in my field, have built up my brand and following for the last 9 years, and I'm overall pretty awesome, people don't buy from me. It's like I'm cursed. I've been to business and marketing conferences, I've done everything they say to do to get 10,000 raving fans. I've watched what other people do that are successful, and they aren't any better than me, so I can't figure out what the problem is. It just doesn't make sense." This is an excellent question to wrap up this series with, Chris, so thank you so much for that. I love that it's a detailed question, and I'm able to dive right in, so let's go. Now, I'm going to be really honest. There are a couple of things that you said in your question that led me to believe that you might be focusing a little too much on competition, using phrases like, "I'm overall pretty awesome, and they aren't any better than me." So before moving forward with any other business or marketing advice that you feel like you've taken or that you want to try next, it's time to take a look inside. Sit down with yourself for a little while and maybe journal out or just think about some ways in which you've been focusing maybe too much on competition. Do you find yourself spending a good chunk of each day or week looking into what other people in your industry are doing? If you've gained nothing else from this marketing series, I hope that it's that your personality is your brand, and you are the driving force behind what makes your business successful. It's not what your competition is doing, and it's not what your potential clients are doing. It really comes down to you. So take a few minutes and think about it. I suggest spending a few minutes at the end of every day and journaling out your biggest frustrations related to managing your business. At the end of each week, take a look and see if there are any patterns that have come up in terms of how you might be comparing yourself to other people. And if you see that you're doing that even a little bit, I want you to actively practice to cut it out. I know that it can be easy to get wrapped up in competition and to compare ourselves to what other people are doing, but that is a deadly trap. Do not get stuck there. Next up, I took a look at your social media pages and your website, and I would love to see you engage way more with your followership. And while you do acknowledge some people that leave comments, I would love to see that you're creating even higher engagement so that you can build a rock solid community that supports you within your social media platform. You already have some great content going up, and now it's time to kick it up a notch and start creating conversations with people who are leaving comments. Now, I know that some comments might not feel like they warrant deeper conversation or a reply, but don't let that fool you. Find one common trait or interest or any word out of something that they've contributed and turn it into a full-fledged conversation. Do that with every single person that leaves a comment on any of your social media platforms or on your blog, and you'll start to see a lot more increase in the interest and trust that you're gaining from potential clients. Number 3, aim to be featured on platforms that you aren't currently super active in. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, so jump on over there and check it out for a little more detail. The basic idea is if you are using platforms A, B, and C, it's time to find people who are really good at and are currently using platforms D, E, and F, and reach out to them for interviews, collaborations, and cross-promotions. It's time to start being more visible on other platforms that you're not already currently active on. Next up, Chris, I want you to focus on building your email list. I've touched on this quite a bit in this video series, so I recommend going back through and checking out some of the other videos that talk more about list building. But in general, I took a look at what you're doing, and you can definitely step it up a little bit. For example, you could create more engagement on your thank you pages when people sign in for your email opt-ins, and find ways to encourage them to interact with your social media pages after they sign up for your email opt-ins. There are also really strategic places that you should place your email opt-ins throughout your website, and some of them I noticed that you're doing already, but there are a few other places you could add to. So definitely go check out the video that I have on list building. Another thing is, are you directly promoting yourself? Are you spending much time sharing your blog posts and articles more than once across social media platforms? Are you guest blogging? Are you actively going after the right email click send strategy that I covered in yesterday's video? If not, Get to self-promoting, lady. Now, I know that you have a book, and I know that you're doing great working with some other people who are doing really cool things, but it's time that you get more direct and do even more outreach that is about promoting your products and services. Finally, I'm gonna get a little more specific because I took a look at your social media pages and your website, and I have some feedback just for you. The first thing that I noticed on your website is that it seems like you're trying to reach out to a lot of different people. In fact, in one of your programs, you say that it's for individuals and for businesses. However, you need to be uber highly super duper focused on who your target audience is. You need to get really specific about their age group, their gender, what they do for a living, what their hobbies are, and these are the places that you're going to find these people, and all of the terminology and the content that you write every single day across all social media platforms and on your blog needs to speak directly to that highly targeted audience. If you're trying to talk to CEOs and entrepreneurs and a stay-at-home mom and the 15-year-old newbie who's getting into exercise and health and wellness, it's not going to be effective, because if someone comes to your website and they don't see that what you're saying speaks directly to them, they're not going to stick around and they're not going to sign up for any of your programs. So get really specific about who you're targeting. I suggest taking a few minutes and creating what Marie Forleo calls an ideal customer avatar. That's where you plant yourself firmly in the shoes of the type of people that you want to reach out to. Create a highly detailed profile of that person. If you go deep enough, you're going to find those trigger words and trigger points that get people to want to click through. You need to start using terminology that speaks to the innermost struggles and frustrations that people go through and why they would want to hire you to help them work through it. So spend some time doing that. And then I recommend going through, and even if it's a pain in the butt, going through your entire website and readjusting all of the pages to speak directly to that one person. To get even deeper on the psychology of how this works, check out this video interview that Marie Forleo did with Ramit Sethi on how to sell more by activating these trigger points. I also noticed that on the pages that share information about your programs, the pricing is up at the top and all the other information is toward the bottom, or it's mixed in somewhere. I suggest putting testimonials and specific details about what each program is up at the top, and then put the pricing at the bottom. You want to sell them on it first so that no matter the price, they're going to click to opt in regardless of how much it costs. Similarly, it looks like you've bolded or highlighted the cost and the names of each program instead of highlighting the benefits and or testimonials in order to create a lust for your product and services so much that people are going to want to opt in right away. Also, Chris, I would love to see more video footage of you either throughout your website or on your thank you pages or in places where people can opt in to learn more. I do see that you have some video throughout your website, but I would love to see even more. Things that are highly targeted about your programs. Proof is in the vegan pudding. So if you can provide awesome written and or video testimonials from people who have taken your courses and really enjoyed them, then you're going to find that your opt-in rates and interest increase tremendously. Finally, if you're like a lot of other business owners who have been doing this for a few years and you find that you're probably get inundated with questions that are related to topics that you probably cover in your paid courses. But again, like I've mentioned in earlier videos, the power of free is incredible. And if you can prove that what you have to offer is valuable, even by giving a little bit and teasing some of it away for free, you're going to find that the opt-ins and people paying for what you have to offer increases tremendously. And my suggestion for you is to take a different twist on how you reply to email inquiries when people want to know about what you're up to and what you have to offer, or about general questions that you might already cover in your coaching series. I suggest creating short 30 to 60 second videos where you respond directly to that person. Now, I know that this is going to take a bit of time, but you don't need anything fancy. You can use a built-in camera on your computer or a little flip cam. The audio doesn't have to be superior. It can be really short, but you're adding the touch of being highly customized to that person and individualized to what they're asking you. So even if you can address one of their questions in relative detail and say, and if you want to learn more, feel free to email me back or check out this program that I think would be right up your alley, then that is your in. Again, don't underestimate the value of free and make your engagement highly customized to the individual people. Part of this too is that you just never know who's listening. It could take just one referral from one person who has a lot of friends on social media to all of a sudden blow up your whole business, in a good way, of course. Therefore, treat every interaction like it's the next big deal, because you just never know. Finally, Chris, building a brand ultimately comes down to personality and how you're engaging. So be sure to stay positive, create motivation, and do what you love, knowing that it's helping other people and that you're adding value to other people's lives. Okay, that does it. That is a wrap for the Will Travel for Vegan Food marketing series. I have just one more video for you tomorrow. It's completely different from all the other videos that I've done throughout this month. You're not going to want to miss it. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and share it with your friends. Also, I have some really exciting things coming up throughout this year that you're not going to want to miss. I promise. And some of these things I'm only going to share via email. So if you don't want to miss anything, jump on over to WTFveganfood.com and sign up for email updates so that you don't miss a single thing. Thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow for a very special closing of this marketing series. In the meantime, if you have any questions or you'd like more marketing related info, email me so we can talk about it. My email is kristen@WTFveganfood.com. Again, stay tuned. I have a lot of fun stuff coming up this year that you're not going to want to miss. That's a wrap. No, this is a wrap. I'm here to stay. My name is Kristen and I eat vegan food all day.